was that last year like for you with WWE?
Oh, it was magic. Uh, I mean, you laugh thinking that I'm lying, but it's not. I'm, I don't know. Nobody else has said this. I loved wrestling in front of no people. I specifically loved wrestling in the performance center with no noise
Yeah.
because it was like, whoa, this is wild.
I remember,
Like,
was it you and AJ did like a 2 out of 3 falls match or something like that? That was like really.
yeah, yeah. So, uh, I'm kind of proud of that, but that wasn't what I'm into
Okay.
because there were people there. They had the
Oh, the
people who were
NXT
trained,
crowd.
yeah, the NXT people who were like they're not really cheering like a crowd would like emotionally, right? So they're just cheering because they're supposed to cheer. And then when it goes to commercial break, we stop and everybody just stops and everybody just sits down. And then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do next? Right. And but I love like the performance center with no Thunderdome, just like me and Drew Gulak. We're just doing wild stuff. I wrestled Claudio, and we were just talking about that the other day. It was a lot of fun. And then I was a little bit a part of the creative team.
What was that like? Because I remember hearing that you were part of the creative team, and like, how did that come about? And like, even for you to like accept that position, we all know what that position can be like.
Yeah.
Obviously different for you, but
So the pandemic was happening. Somebody in one of my segments, it was right before Bree was about to give birth to our son, Buddy. And it was like a month before that, somebody in one of my segments had gotten COVID.
oh shit.
And they called me and said, "Hey, you were in a segment with somebody who got COVID. A bunch of people in the segment got COVID. You might have COVID." I tested. I didn't have COVID, but then I said, "I'm probably not coming to work."
Yeah.
I requested. I didn't say like, "Hey, I'm absolutely not coming to work." I'd say like, "Hey, I don't think I should come to work. My wife's pregnant. We didn't,
Yeah.
due soon." And so anyways, so they were completely fine with that. They were great with that. And then Bruce Pritchard called me and said, "Hey, I know you're gone, but would you like to be a part of the creative team, be a part of the meetings and stuff like that that they were doing all like through Zoom and all that kind of stuff anyways?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I did that.
Huh.
I loved it. I know a lot of people have talked a lot of crap about writers or
Oh, thankless job.
yeah, it's a
But
thankless
yeah,
job. I think there's a lot of smart, fun writers
absolutely.
that I loved working with.
I would always think that too, because like you see those writers, and like obviously they have amazing resumes. They are smart, brilliant people. You're just working within certain circumstances, but they're
Yeah.
amazing.
And like there's a writer. I hope he still works there. I think sometimes people sometimes reach out to me via text, but I never check my phone. And then I'm like, I have over 3,000 unread text
Yeah, I'm pretty
messages
sure he
on my
texted
phone.
you months and months ago to do this show, and you didn't respond.
Text text is a bad way to get a hold of me.
I'll
It's used,
text
like,
X.
yeah. Actually, texting Bree is the most efficient way.
Me too with bullshit. People always message me for John. It's so not fair.
Yeah, well, we've got the game figured out.
Hmm.
Yeah. So but so like Ryan Callahan, who was one of, if not the lead SmackDown writer at the time, we would talk about SmackDown sometimes on Mondays. He's like, "Hey, I'd like to run some ideas by you," and we talk. But then we just talk afterwards. I love Ryan. Like I loved dealing with Bruce Pritchard. Like I know some people talk bad about Bruce. I love Bruce. Like so I mean I really enjoyed it. I loved working with the writers. I forget
Jen
Jen.
Pepperman.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Jen is
I
hilarious. So
love.
yeah, and she won 2 Emmys.
She's
Like
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like
So people that want to like talk shit on the writing team, they are very qualified.
yeah. Wait, well, they're
You know.
not only are they qualified, they're fun people to
Yeah.
be around. If you can accept that they're not wrestlers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Hey, this is a fun person to talk to."
Yeah.
Like I found, God, the
Kirsch?
curse, curse,
I knew it was gonna
curse.
Kirsch.
He
The best.
he's the best.
Yeah, love Kirsch.
Yeah. So many people are just so much fun.
So what went so you had such a great time. I mean, shit, you look at the career you were able to have at WWE, you got to do so many amazing things. What came down to you deciding to part ways with them?
So so people think I had 2 options between WWE and AEW, and the reality was that I was considering 3 options, which was WWE, AEW, or just not being a full-time wrestler anymore and just being more of a full-time dad.
Yeah.
When I told that to Bree with the money that each company was offering me, she I think she wanted to kill me. She might she might have she might have wanted to kill me, and yeah, so that was but really it came down to a little bit schedule, um, a little bit of creative freedom, and also just this idea of I'd been there for so long,
Yeah.
maybe something a little bit new would be fun. But then also I also kinda wanted to bleed, and
Okay.
and so which is a weird thing to say. Other
Please unpack that a little bit.
Okay. So
What is the deal?
there is so if you were to ask me to bleed right now, in front of however many people we have
How
here,
hard way, you brother?
I would say, "No, thanks. That doesn't sound like fun." You get in front of 1,000 people in the moment inside a wrestling ring bleeding. There's something about it that just makes you feel very alive, right? It's just
Is it like the blood in your eyes, in your mouth?
I
You're
don't know.
fighting for your
I don't
life a
I don't
little harder?
I don't know what it is. There's just something to it. There's a magic to it. There's a magic to it that
I would like to conduct some kind of cross study on
oh, yeah.
you guys.
You should I mean, you should ask your husband because
Trust me, I
he
know.
bleeds every match.
Come
Most of
home.
most of the time not on purpose.
He came home last night. I fell asleep early last night, so he slept on the couch to not wake up the dogs and my daughter and all that. And he was like sleeping on the couch, and I was hoodie up, and I just like pulled it back to be like, "What are we working with here today?" But he was okay. He's fine. Nothing. All good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bleeding thing is just this other. I don't understand it. Okay, so you wanted to go to AEW, you wanted to do this different style. You kind of wanted to just, especially at this age as well, to like see what this. I don't want to call it like a last run, but like really strong years of like kind of being in your prime, right?
Mhm.
Of just kind of figuring out like what else can you do? You're a man that is like a wrestler's wrestler. Was there also, I don't know if I like read this somewhere. Was there an option of you maybe staying with WWE and also doing dates with New Japan?
Yeah, I think they were trying to make that work out,
Yeah,
which it eventually did not work out.
did not.
So, which I think is good for everybody.
100%.
So
Definitely.
so yeah.
So what was the moments like between you leaving WWE and then going to AEW?
Well, I took 5 first time in my life. And I just spent time with my kids and we were in Tahoe and we were hiking and we were just doing it was amazing, which is why the third option of not going anywhere was very appealing to me.